All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chromatic Games Dungeon Defenders Awakens.
What up? What up?
What up? The
starting off strong.
I mean, is there any other way else to start off?
I
I don't think so. The Dungeon Defenders Awakened live Q&A. This might be pre-recorded, actually.
It's very pre-recorded.
All right,
we're definitely not reading.
It'll be post-recorded.
And post-recorded.
Actually. So if someone's watching a VOD of this, it was post-recorded. So anyways, it has been a busy... I think we've only been working on this for about a week.
Yeah. No, apparently 3 years.
Some say 3 years.
Some say years.
Some say a week. But only we know the
We've
answer.
done a lot of work in
It's
a week.
been 2 weeks. No. We've been busy for a little bit. So we got a lot done this week. We got our Kickstarter launched. Hopefully a lot of you guys have seen that. If not, there is a link down below. Not too far. Scroll a little bit. Not too much. And you guys can check out our Kickstarter. But yeah, other than that, you know who we be. I'm Lawlta, host with some and also most.
I'm Mark. I'm the lead designer on DDA.
I hope you're pointing at your name.
I'm putting up my name.
Okay.
Not
So much.
Hello. But it actually is. It's right there. So it
this
works.
is the full
Wait,
body
there
shot.
it is.
We're a couple minutes in already.
This is
our rating has
Creative
shot
directors.
right up.
Wait, right here. There it is. All right, I got it. Nice little
I can't
scoop.
see. Eric's head's in the way. It's
Nice
okay.
little scoop.
Here I am. Boop.
We're a mature team and very much adults.
There we go. Incredibly. So yeah. Oh, also you might notice. So Twitch takes a little while to switch over names. So get used to it. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah, we're still trying to do the rebranding on Twitch, so it's just going to take some time, and then eventually this channel will switch over to Chromatic Games.
Yep. So anyways, this is live Q&A. So just get your questions going. But
You have questions? We have answers.
we might have answers. We
Probably.
Most of the
Probably.
time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what's life about?
If you're like, why doesn't my son love me? I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah. Do you have a son? Is the first. We have a question back.
No, wait. Have you supported the Kickstarter would be the follow-up. If yes,
And then
they'll love you.
that's
again.
where it comes from.
There's the answer.
So anyways, feel free to start spamming those in right now. But we're gonna start off just with some higher level ones that people have had questions about. I know we've put it everywhere, but it's always good to kind of reiterate and have our bases covered. So I'm going to throw this one over to Elandrian, being, what dang all happened to Trinity Entertainment, and who is Chromatic Games?
What happened, or at least what we are allowed to say, is that one of the original founders of Trendy, Augie Lai, he came back, and he's now the new CEO of the company. That was in December. Then we, spent some time kind of figuring out what we're going to do next with new leadership, figuring out who's in what positions now, what does this mean for our company, and then kind of had a powwow of all right, so what is our next project? Because he gave us a new goal. He's like, how do we get a game out in 2019, a new product? So our goal was new product, and so then we're like, all right, we're going to make a new game together. We're not really old trendy anymore. So what does that mean too? We're changing around the soul of our company, what's going on. So we decided, you know what? We're a new team, new energy. And so we picked the name Chromatic Games, and we're moving on from there as a new team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a
New
fan
studio.
of our new name as
Well,
well.
order.
New.
No.
Whoa.
No.
Not on this stream.
No.
Not on this. No. No. So we have some predetermined questions already because we're sure you're going to ask about them.
Yeah.
But someone already asked if you can get the DDA shirt that's part of the Kickstarter in Europe, and the answer is yes, you can. We are
Most
doing
countries, right?
most countries in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so far just broad terms is North America, Central America, South America, Australia, and Europe.
And definitely not the UK,
And
right?
not the UK.
No.
Unless they're still part of Europe when we send these shirts out, then who knows? But
No, we're just kidding. We'll try UK
yeah.
too.
So that's where
They're gonna be like, I clipped it, and they said they're not sending T-shirts.
You got to
here.
clip the other part too. You got to be fair. So that's where we've got it for right now. Just because when it comes to shipping these things out, we have to work with other other companies within other continents to make sure that they can get it distributed as well, because it's not just, hey, UPS and FedEx, you do this everywhere directly to someone's front door. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So for right now, that's kind of where we're at.
Danny liked it.
Did he? There's so much.
It was for you, baby.
Oh. Okay, this is a good one. What did you use before Unreal Engine, and what are we using now?
I mean, if the question is what did we use before Unreal Engine, it was Unreal Engine.
I know, that's why I like the answer. But
it was a previous Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And it was also an Unreal Engine that just had years and years and years.
Yeah, it was kind of like this weird Frankenstein monster of UDK and Unreal 3. And, you know, we piled some of our own features on there, and then we piled some more because the years went by. And, yeah, we're excited to go into UE4, not partying like it's 2009 anymore, partying like it's 2019.
That's
good
it
really allows us to be a lot more creative and do a lot more things in a more expedient manner.
Really?
I'm happy about it.
We can do things faster in
I can
UE4?
do things faster and more efficiently.
I did not know that. I didn't know it's, hey, from design, let's go talk to programmers real quick. What can we do? Oh, it's done. You've already done it. Let's see here. So while I read through this as well, another good question. Is this more like Dungeon Defenders, the original one from 2012, or Dungeon Defenders 2?
So the answer to that question is it's like both, because we're taking a lot of the like main content will be more towards DD1 in terms of the heroes and like defenses, but there's going to be some new content too. There's going to be some changes to the game that we learned from our time in DD2. So there's going to be a lot of, I mean, there might even be, dare I say, some DD2 content at some point that comes over into DDA. But there's also like new stuff, so it's this next evolution of Dungeon Defenders, and it's not really like one or the other. But in terms of some of like the main 4 heroes and their defenses are going to be the ones from DD1, and then from there we'll have to reveal more.
Okay. So I saw some questions. We're not too afraid of things.
Only I'm scared.
It's like the dark. Gary Busey, and what was spaghetti on top of a cupcake? Those are the 3.
And people that call spaghetti spagucci.
That is, I don't know if I'm terrified.
Because there's one specifically.
But it makes me want to throw up.
I'm an Italian and I'm disgusted by it.
Okay. You're to my core. You are actually offended.
Seriously.
So this is obviously going to be a big question for some of our DD2 fans. So what's going to kind of happen with DD2 and where we're at right now, and Mark and I have been working very closely on this.
We have.
Is right now we have, this is not our last update.
No.
But the update we're working on right now, and it's something that we talked about before we went on our break at the end of the year, is it's going to be player-centric entirely. We've got a ton of stuff. I mean, we've got all these new weapons coming in. We've got like a ton of stuff with shards, some other stuff that we're still finalizing and testing that I can't really talk about that has to do with Ancient Power a little bit. There's a lot that we're still going on. I know.
I want to tell them about it.
So we'll have more information.
Because I personally done some work on it. We are not dropping DD2 like a hot potato. That is not happening.
We're dropping like a cold potato.
No. Very gently.
There's new stuff coming. It's coming soon. And some of my work is in there. And I'm super excited to show it to you guys when the time is right.
It's not the last thing we're working on with
They're
Dungeon
saying
Defenders
just
2.
tell us.
I want to. He won't let me.
What can we give them? What one piece?
Bum, bum, bum.
And not Rafto.
I wish. I still want that.
I don't know if we've told him this yet. There's some really cool, shiny things that you guys may or may not know about, that you may or may not be able to earn if you're true badasses in Onslaught.
True gamers.
True gamers.
I think that's about as specific as I can get.
We do have. We are currently working on. This will be one that we haven't really touched too much on. Is material conversion for Ancient Power.
Oh, we're gonna tell them that?
Just dropping it now.
Oh yeah. It's happening.
That's one thing.
As you can tell, Mark's a little excited about it.
I'm super excited. This is what I've been working on.
So that's for right now. That's the one thing we need to keep this focused on answering new questions, but we are still supporting it. We've got a lot of work that's gone into it. We're stretched across 2 different projects right now, and that is not stressful.
We can sleep when we die.
There we go. After DDA releases. So we are still working on it. Now, back to the DDA questions. I've already seen some people, will this game actually get the promised Arby's crossover? I hope.
Arby's, for when your hunger is stronger than your memory.
Stop?
Arby's, we love you.
Arby's, we love you.
Support our Kickstarter.
Mark is a certified
We'll do roast beef throwing cannonball towers. Please help us.
Yeah, please. So anyways, the next one is, I've seen this already pop up 3 times. What is the business model, El Dorito?
I mean, like we always say retail product, but some people say buy to play.
Yeah.
It's like a regular game purchase, my dudes. Regular game. So it's going to be a retail purchase game with eventual DLCs. The DLCs won't be like, and I've said this a couple other places, but DLCs won't be super tiny like they were previously. They're going to be a little girthier, a little chunkier, a little more girthy.
Girthy.
I don't know. That's the best way to describe them, I guess.
So if you want to back us on the Kickstarter, we are entirely limited by what Kickstarter will accept. We will have ways to support us and back us after the Kickstarter is ended, but for right now, we are at the will of Kickstarter. So it's nothing that we're saying, haha, no, we hate PayPal. We love PayPal.
It's not in our control.
But we can't do anything with it. So that is not on us, unfortunately. I wish it was, because then we could change it and easy peasy. Let's see here. What platforms are we releasing on?
Platforms at first, PC and Switch. And then, I mean, if we hit our stretch goal, it'll be also PS4, Xbox One at launch. But if we don't hit the stretch goal or we don't figure out the funding afterwards, PS4 and Xbox One might have to come a little bit later. We're still trying to obviously figure that out, and obviously everybody's supporting the Kickstarter will help us get there at a faster time frame. But we're definitely going to launch at some point on consoles as well.
Yep. And no, PC right now does not include Mac and Linux.
No,
those are that's way too out for us. So we're not able to. Speaking of those things, this is a question I have, but I also have seen it 4 times now, listed right here. Crossplay question mark.
That is a question mark.
Yeah.
We're looking into it. That'd be something that'd be really cool to do. I don't think it'll be something that we can get by launch, but perhaps in like a free update to the game afterwards or something. We're still kind of in our planning phases of figuring out all the work required, and then obviously we'll be adjusting those with a successful Kickstarter as well, because we'll be able to have some more resources. So we're still planning and seeing what we can do. Crossplay is something we want to do, so we'll see if we can make it happen before the launch.
So someone asked a really cool question that I delved into yesterday to find out what was possible. So what is the camera going to be like in DDA?
Ooh.
And this one's actually a fun thing because we have such great tools and great programmers, if we're being honest. I know they're watching
mostly
right now.
Those great programmers.
But it's mostly great programmers. Keep working.
Or no, it's just the engine. Our programmers do nothing.
Wait, no.
We're not praising our employees. We're an evil corporation.
No, we're not.
I don't know.
That's not part
Aren't
of the
I evil corporation Elandrian?
I don't know if you can still be.
Damn.
You have to shed your skin.
I shed my trendy form.
Okay.
I've become beautiful and chromatic.
But anyways, so the camera, we are looking into a couple different things where basically you can have the option of how you want it to be. Specifically, do you want it to be like the DD1 overhead? You could do that. We can also have options to where you can either toggle in the game or in the options menu by default if it's overhead, or if it's like the DD2 style where you're placing it, or while you're placing overhead, if you want to swap to the other view to see how far something goes, you can do that. Not guaranteed yet, but that is something that literally last night I looked into with one of our programmers, and he said it was an entire possibility. So that is something very cool that we can make sure that, hey, the DD1 veterans like this, the DD2 veterans like this, best of both worlds. Let's see here. How in Landry and I have talked about this in depth. How do we plan on stopping cheating in DDA?
I don't want to get into like super specifics because we haven't picked any one option or the other, but there's a series of options that we've been discussing for how we can counteract, cheating or hacked gear and online play. And so we're still having those discussions as a team, and we'll figure out kind of the best route to go forward. But we just want to say we are obviously aware that was a thing in the past, especially in DD1. And so we're gonna put measures in to make sure that everyone has as fair online play as that we can possibly give.
Yeah, one really cool thing that we talked about with this project, and then the CDT even did, was they actually capped out stuff. That's one way to do it. It's not how we're going to do it, but there are, even in DD1 now, there are options that kind of are implemented to kind of counteract that.
We'll see.
So there's a lot of questions that are specifically about like hero balance and tower balance and gear progression and a whole lot of a multitude of questions that
numbers are going to be completely different in this game.
But there's no way we'd be able to answer all of those on stream. So the best way is like we've been going through, specifically Mark kind of talked about what he's been doing.
I've been doing a lot of work on this. So what I'm doing is I'm going through, I'm looking at everything very, very closely, and I'm going to make sure that we capture the spirit of what's there. Now the numbers are probably not going to be exactly the same as what they are right now, but the spirit of what's there will be, and hopefully everything will be even finer tuned than what it currently is.
Yeah, we've gone through, and Mark spent countless hours going through and seeing what scaling looks like, what calculations look like, the formulas for everything. It's been very tedious.
I've looked at Excel spreadsheets for so long that at this point, every single time I blink, I see a grid across the entire world. That's how closely I've been looking at stats.
We're rebuilding and redoing all the core like Dungeon Defenders systems just in general. Like all the, just all of our scaling within the game, all our enemy spawning, like all these back-end things that make Dungeon Defenders tick have been reworked, have been rewritten in code. Like it's all getting like a from-scratch revamp in Unreal Engine 4, which then, eventually we're going to hope is going to make the game run better. Right? Like, but being able to do it from kind of a clean slate with Unreal 4 is really going to make a huge difference for a lot of these gameplay systems for Dungeon Defenders. Yeah. So that's a really awesome part of what our new tools give us.
Let's see here. So there's a couple here. So again, for gear and gameplay, and even heroes right now, we're not talking about those specifically. We're going to keep revealing stuff over time. But we need to make sure we're 100% on the same page with all of it. So for right now, there's a ton of investigations going on. But on the progression of stuff, release schedules of stuff, we can't give those out because it would be very unwise. And here we're very wise. Don't groan. It's a good meme. But let's see here. So there was one that was really good. And I'll take this one because it's a twofer. The first was, is it online only? No, but there is online multiplayer, which means that there is local offline. And with local offline, there is local offline co-op, which means there is local offline co-op split screen on all platforms, and you'll be able to do up to 4 players as we have it planned right now. So yes, there is. You have multiple ways to play. It's not online only. For instance, if you get it on the Switch, you could play it on the train. Don't play it while driving. That is dumb.
You can. You'll just die.
No, don't.
Don't do it.
You might go to jail. What were you doing? I was defending while driving. Oh no, don't do that.
Defending under the influence.
So this one is interesting. Are we going to, do we have plans to change like spawning animations?
Oh yeah, we have plans to change all the animations. So yeah, nothing. Everything that you've seen so far is work in progress. Even the Deeper Well itself is work in progress still. It's like literally nothing is final. Everything's getting redone. It's ridiculous. Like literally one of the biggest thing and I see some questions about like, what is the money for? The money for is like additional team members to actually make it as dope as we want to make it. So right now we have our core programming team, we have designers, but we want to hire more artists to be able to make the content, all the content that we want to make for DDA. We have a lot of plans and vision for what we want to do. So the money now is to get those additional team members, and then obviously, like the console money, for instance, the stretch goal for PS4 and Xbox One, we would need additional engineers that would be focused on porting, to the PS4 or Xbox One. So again, like that plus like the dev kits and stuff like that. So it's just the kind of expenses that we need to actually bring it to console it's like why that is a stretch goal. We'll still do it. But that's why it's like it's a stretch goal for if we want to get it done at the same time as everything else. And so if we just if we don't get that, then we'll still do it. It'll just take a little more time because our current engineering team has to be focused on the main game, the main experience. Obviously, Switch and PC specs vary enormously, right? PCs can get way more powerful than the Switch, so we want to make sure at least it's optimized enough to run really well on the Switch. 4-player split screen. So we definitely have a lot of engineering effort that is required for the base kind of expectations, and then we'll just go from there.
Nope. Making games is complicated.
It costs money and it's super complicated. So
we did see that Goat Simulator.
That's mainly what that money goes to.
They just hit the Make MMO button that we saw the other day, but we don't.
Yes.
We don't have that one.
Make MMO button.
I wish that's what we had. Or Make DDA button. We don't. But we're hoping to get it
one day.
So
Unreal 5.
So one thing that and we've kind of ran into this with DD2 a little bit. So one thing with DDA is we've learned a ton of lessons with DD1 and DD2, and so we want to avoid any kind of bumps in the road from lessons previously learned. So one of the questions, for instance, was with certain towers in DD2. Specifically the Harpy, as they asked, there is a limitation to how some of the DPS and rate goes because of the animation.
Yeah.
So
same thing with the BlazBlue.
Yeah. So we've learned those lessons. That stuff looks cool, and there's ways to change that. There's actually easier ways to get around that. We can do something similar in Unreal 4, but speed it up so they just look like they're on a ton of caffeine, like 1,000 cups of coffee, just. But
that's what we want.
Imagine if you gave a 10-year-old 10 pounds of sugar and a super soaker. They go insane. That's what it'll be like.
Are they shooting sugar through the sugar?
They're shooting you.
I don't get this analogy at all.
Let's keep it rolling.
What's going on?
I don't know. That one doesn't get. So this one's a good question. What happens if we don't reach our goal on Kickstarter?
We find a publisher, try to raise the money the other ways.
Yeah,
we don't think that's going to happen.
No, but we're on pretty good track right now. But we've got back. I mean, the game's getting made. Come heck or
it's
high
like
water.
The thing is, we want to maintain being employee owned, right? Yeah. Everybody here that works for us is a piece of the company. We're all invested in the success of this game, and so we want to maintain our ownership of the game and the company. So we don't want to go to a publisher and give them a cut if we don't have to. So that's really like the core goal of just getting that little extra bit with the Kickstarter, being able to get the team members that we need to really execute this the best that we can, and just kind of keep our company indie and keep our company amongst the developers. Obviously, if we have to, we'll explore other options, but we really are trying not to.
Yeah, it's going to let us do a lot of really cool things.
Yeah, it really gives us the freedom to make the games that you guys want, and that's why I think the Kickstarter is something that is so amazing.
Yeah. So we have to answer this.
I mean, sometimes external interests want a MOBA.
Sometimes they do, guys. I don't know what genre that is in 2019.
Is that too spicy for today?
I think it's still
too hot right now.
Too hot.
Still too soon.
Too soon? Too soon?
Here, we can rebrand it as. Some publishers want a BR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just gotta switch the.
That's
genre.
too hard for me. No. Too close.
Too close.
Close to home.
All right.
Dang. Oof.
So we have to answer this question because, to be fair, we don't want to be biased, but the Gobu army has come to us. Asking if
the Gobu army.
Yeah.
It's a dream anime.
Yes.
Okay.
It's Marfa Games.
Oh, Marfa Games. Sorry.
Bring it on.
Come on.
Are we adding the DD2 goblins to DDA.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to spoil that just yet.
Okay.
There. That kind of spoils it.
That's enough right there.
That's it.
That's it. There we go. That's the answer I was looking for anyways. 10 out of 10. Slam dunk Charles Barkley. All right. DDA Tower Royale finally confirmed? Maybe.
One day. The dream.
One day. That's the secret hidden stretch goal. I'm not kidding. Maybe I am. Any plans for... Oh, so there's a lot of questions about like hero hot swapping and stuff like that. And we've this is something we've been like talking about a bunch because there are people who do like it and people who don't. So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be going through and really like testing the waters with, not on release, but as we go through development, where we can see stuff like having access to your heroes during build phase. And we've seen some discussions on the forums where it said, hey, there's strategy with the timer and whatnot, and the thing is we can shorten that timer and you still have access to a bunch of stuff. We're gonna go through and see how all that stuff feels. If it doesn't feel as good, then we don't do it. And again, we'll have a closed beta at some point in time with a lot of these things. We'll be taking a ton of feedback all at once.
Absolutely. All that design related stuff is still in active conversation right now, since this is just at the start of development, but it's going to be something that we talk a lot about. It's going to be something that we're really going to involve our community in to get right.
So is the save game platform bound? Because someone had a tweet about this.
Well, we're looking into it. No promises.
Yeah.
But we're talking about some of the back-end services that the game will be running on and the things we can do. Obviously, we want multiplayer to go back to being kind of peer-to-peer, client-to-client connection, because then it doesn't cost us money to host servers continuously. I mean, that's our main motivation, but obviously, some people actually have better connection doing client-to-client, especially international players.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things we're talking about is just how will the multiplayer backend work in DDA, and some of the tools and things that we're looking at have extra options to them, like ways to do cross saves and ways to do cross play. Cross saves are way easier to accomplish because the backend we're looking at right now will just automatically log you in when you go into online multiplayer. You don't even have to log in. You don't even have to take any other extra step other than just playing online. And so then it brings you into the service, and then we can figure out like getting saves going, and it knows which account you are, which is like weird. We're still like talking about how that works, but they are wizards of technology assure me that it is a definite possibility for DDA and actually wouldn't require a lot of extra work for our team. So we're looking into it right now, and maybe I will have a more refined announcement about it soon.
Yeah. So there's a lot. So I hope a lot of you have seen it, because
more definite announcement soon. Because
we've had a lot of work put into our new forums. If you haven't seen them yet, they're very beautiful. And previously we had those hosted by someone else, but now that we're hosting them ourselves, we have a lot of control over that. And from that, we've even talked about looking into account linking through our website. So that's the way you could verify certain things. By putting, you have your account, you link it to whatever platform you're on, and then from there you can then tie it in via codes or really whatever we have. So there's a lot of investigation going into that still, but I mean, it'd be pretty dope.
Should we give them a little run around while we're answering our questions?
Yeah, for sure. So we've been letting poor Eric sleep over there. He just did a stretch and a yawn. So he's gonna be switching us over to be little bitty.
So we're just gonna we'll still be answering questions, but we're gonna show off the dev build that we made for the Kickstarter. Obviously, everything's still very work in progress. You'll even notice probably on the in-game footage, there's like lighting needs to be rebuilt. Because it's all very test mode developer stuff.
Yeah, this is 100% dev build stuff.
We're just showing you that it's not like, oh hey,
it's vaporware.
We manually like cinematic everything going on in
painted
those shots.
every frame.
We hand painted every frame.
Every frame.
So we're going to show you guys it running in engine, and we're going to mess around a little bit on one of our test places.
So this is, I mean, the chair's in the way, but Eric is running through Deeper Well now. So the frame rate will be a lot better. The stream computer, we have a lot of stuff running through it right now. Nah, there's no way. But when we run this, even just on every computer here, we're getting like really good frame rates with a lot of stuff. So
it's just much like the code is so much better now.
Oh yeah,
and it's so much nicer.
So yeah. Oh, the max speed of the Squire. Yeah, we're not a fan of how slow he is at the beginning. Like,
you guys aren't enjoying how him putzing around.
So he's
having a hard time, guys. He skipped leg day if you can't tell.
We're not a fan of the speed of the base Squire in DD1. So maybe that might get some attention because it ain't great. So anyone who says DD1's a perfect game, that's the first example where I would contend that it's not.
This is just a very early build to show some of the graphical advancements we're going to be making to the game. Obviously, one of the shifts and one of the maps kind of to make it very different and fit in with the new storyline that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still very early dev, like really early dev.
Yeah, really stressed that.
But we wanted to be able to show you guys at least something where we're running around and messing around in the engine.
Yeah. So it looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's actually a lot of stuff I didn't know was outside of the map that we're not going to get into now. I don't think we have no clip or anything set up right now. That's okay though. So Deeper Well, obviously it looks great. We're going to have some side-by-side comparisons. We already have one that kind of does that in our video, but we'll have a couple more thrown up on our Kickstarter page. But yeah, it looks awesome. We've actually gotten it like semi kind of playable in certain ways, but we're not going to mess with that because we had this build specifically made for the stream to not do that.
Programs have been breaking everything all week, so we made them fix it all for the stream.
True. It's like, oh yeah, that doesn't work right now.
Fix it.
Well, we needed to. And they did a fantastic job. So what we're actually going to do now is an even deeper look into a dev build, which is
diving in.
Is we're going to switch over to, and you're going to see some console hacks, or maybe you're not. Eric might hide.
No, it'll be secrets.
Is he?
Oh,
he hit it. Oh, we're back to full screen for the moment.
All right. For a second.
So just for a second, and then we're going to go back to the test level. Eric doesn't want to show the secret hacks needed to get into.
Because those will be available in the full game.
Maybe.
They just look really janky. Let's be fair.
No, it'll be great.
All right.
Everything's great.
Will be console commands.
Have you switched back over?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's in the test level. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to pull some of the commands anyways to spawn some guys.
Yeah.
But and none of this is final artwork or anything at all. So
very work in progress.
Yes, a lot of this
in case
is
you couldn't tell.
Making sure the base game works, like that you can actually run around and spawn things, and they die certain ways. There's a ton of foundational stuff that needs to be set up. Game development. So Eric should spawn. I think you should spawn 50 enemies.
This computer's gonna break.
That's okay.
The stream's gonna crash.
So as you can see, like when they get hit by, and this is in our Kickstarter stuff, we're adding a lot of like really cool physics-based things. So if they hit that, it's probably gonna die. But as they get hit by the harpoon, they get knocked all the way back. It'll actually pin them to the wall. Like it breaks physics entirely. If it was in the real world, it never goes to the ground. It goes until it hits a wall and pins them. And then also the traps, they have an exploding effect where even on some of the orcs, it'll knock them up in the air and they'll just ragdoll away. So this is super early too.
Yep.
We still have months and months of work ahead of us, and this is one of the things we've gotten accomplished within a very short period of time. So if we're able to do this now, just give us time.
And also it's gonna be ridiculous. Our speed of development is much higher on this new project, which is really nice. Yeah. And just to answer another one of those questions, it won't just be the base 4 heroes, but we'll announce some extra stuff later. Mm-hmm. Obviously the base 4 heroes are our main characters in the Dungeon Defenders franchise that have been in all of the games. Mm-hmm. So obviously we wanted to assure everyone that they will also be in DDA, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But in terms of the extra heroes, we'll be talking about that later.
No, we're never talking about that. We're in fact releasing one hero.
Like a certain nature lady at some point.
She might be secret. Someone did ask about crossover stuff.
No, I know.
No, I know. I saw it.
I'm aware.
I'm aware. But they specifically, I think it wasn't who we think. It was someone else that they mentioned. Like a Hat in Time, I think is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Would we do a crossover with a Hat in Time? I mean,
I would.
Maybe. That game's sweet.
Why not?
But, like,
hit us up.
But yeah, give us a call. Phone number is at the bottom of the screen, I think.
Is it?
It's not.
It's like, is there a phone number?
Don't try to call us.
We won't pick up.
We won't pick up.
New phone, who dis?
New studio, who dis? Anyways.
More questions.
So let's see here. So no monster or monster type playable character. We didn't say that. No,
That's never been said.
Say that.
Yeah, we
yes.
definitely didn't say that.
Dang.
This is an office space, so let's not play jump to conclusions. Will there be boss or map specific loot? I mean, like, we think that's a cool thing in RPGs, so take
we
take
love
that for what it is.
And we
I
love
think that's a cool thing in RPGs.
It's a cool thing in RPGs.
And we love RPGs.
We do. So
it's just a yes.
Yeah.
Like, we love cool weapons, and we love, like, oh my gosh, yeah. I know I was probably talking to some DD1 community members, but just, like, we love when the weapons are doing sweet things with awesome effects and, like, even in wacky ways. And, like, DD1 had such a weird variety of weapons. And then, obviously, DD2 had weapons that had, like, even before shards, they had, like, weapon-unique passives that we had for a while. And we know those resonated with a lot of people. When we brought in, like, the 11 Terraria weapons that all had their own passives. And then we had incursion weapons, right, that all had different ones as well. We definitely want to do more of that, where you have really cool loot that has special effects and you can use it in cool different ways. We want to have sweet loot like that for sure.
Yeah. Is the composer creating the music for DDA the same person who did DD1's music?
Yes.
You better believe it.
Yeah, same composer.
my man. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is so good.
Same
and
dude.
He actually, if you've watched the Kickstarter, it has the new tracks actually at the bottom of the Kickstarter for DDA. He went through and redid it. It sounds amazing. It's got kind of like that, for me it's like a Stranger Things vibe at the beginning. We were super hyped when we heard it.
Yep.
We were in a meeting, just played, and it's like, so good. See here. Aren't games for Unreal 4 high PC demanding? What?
Huh?
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, you can make them.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah, if we want to
You turn on all the options.
Turn
with
on
ray tracing and
all the things
everywhere.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that's our plan though. DDA ray tracing expansion. There it is.
There's a lot of optimization that's available to us.
Yeah,
So it won't be too bad.
so there's a whole lot of stuff. If we could put a percentage between the three games, how would we split it? Not like, I don't think that's a.
Well, we're not developing DD1 anymore. Period.
Right.
No.
It's the community development. Or what does that mean?
They meant is DDA
Like what combination?
you had to break,
like what combination of games?
and it's like, I don't think that's a good metric to.
It's a new game, guys.
Yeah, it's like
It's a brand new game.
it's we're growing from our experience on the others and putting that into a new.
Because if you say that we take like any one thing from DD1, it will not be like how it was in DD1.
Yeah.
So then it's just already like wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
So
or even like DD2 for that matter. It's like whatever we end up using content wise from previous games is not gonna be the same at all.
yeah.
Like, I mean, all this art's going to be redone. All the the animations are going to be redone.
Yeah.
The levels, obviously, maps are being redone. We're going to have new maps, dare I say.
Shh.
We might.
We're not at that part.
Nope.
We're not at that part of the stream yet.
All right. Well, there's new content.
Not at that part of the stream.
Yeah, we'll be talking more about it.
Answer those questions. Let's see here. Will it have challenging levels like DD1? No.
No, it's just gonna be super easy.
You start it up, you win. Here's all the
Yeah,
achievements.
You hit G and you just victory screen.
Yeah.
That's how the game works.
What the new feature we're adding is you hit G. Betsy from DD2 comes in, burns everything, and you win.
Summon Betsy.
Yeah.
Key. Every hero gets that ability.
It's bound
Summon
to,
Betsy.
It's bound to ready up. So yeah, no, there's yes, there's gonna be difficulty in the game. That question is just silly.
I believe that's a stretch goal or flex goal too.
Oh, an additional.
Yeah.
Additional Massacre.
Yeah.
Believe me, you guys help out on the Kickstarter, you're gonna get some difficulty and then some.
Yeah, we've got. I mean,
We got some scary plans.
I'm gonna take I'll take a personal interest in the difficulty of the game, guys.
You guys can only see. You can only see some of the things we even have planned. We've got so much. Like, I don't even. It's a lot.
Yes, we'll have player trading of some sort.
There you
We
go.
haven't determined the method yet, but yeah, we'll have trading.
Yes.
Okay. Like ragdoll deaths and stuff. Again, like this is all super early. That's just one cool thing we wanted to do now. We've already talked about other ways to kill things and how they disappear. So it's not only that. There's a lot of options we want to give players. Like I said, the camera thing is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Having more controls and playing how you want to play is a real big focus for development on this game. So
Yeah.
there's a ton of stuff. So again, what you see here right now, this is by no means final, and it is not the only thing that there's going to be. So you don't have to just put up just with ragdolls. Oh, I hate ragdolls. That's fine. It's not the only thing.
Ooh, will tavern shops come back?
Huh?
It's something we are talking about.
That's a big breath.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
Do you have a Discord we can follow? Yeah, it should be. If you scroll down, it should be.
Should be a
there.
link to it.
Yeah. It's just it's a all.
If not, I'm sure someone could send an invite link.
Yeah.
It's also like discord.me/DD2 or something like that.
Something like that.
So there's some like quick link.
Yeah, it's all of Dungeon Defenders is what the Discord is.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
something.
remember.
Yeah, it's
There's
also
a link.
if you want to, if you go to the Dungeon Defenders subreddit as well, there's a link on the sidebar there. There's one at the bottom of this. There's a link to it in our frequently asked questions section on Kickstarter.
Yep.
So there's several different sources that should be pretty easy to get to. Let's see here. We will. So asking if features are gonna be coming is something we can't really talk about because maybe. But if you want to know, is there a feature like Ancient Power coming to DDA?
No.
Okay, well, there you go. There's the answer right there. A gear crafting system. There's a lot of stuff we've learned, and we'd like to do a lot of cool things. It's really about time. So something like that would be pretty cool, but we're not gonna Again, this is a bunch of future feature stuff that we haven't really talked about a whole lot. So we're not gonna be able to get into those things.
We've talked about it. We just have to decide.
Yeah. Well,
the way.
Yeah, we need it
in which
compared to
things will happen.
Everything
it's
else.
Always a matter of time and resources. The more resources we have, the more stuff we can do.
Back us on Kickstarter.
Seriously, it's just the more money we make.
Yeah, I mean that's really what
more
it comes down
features
to,
you
guys.
get.
Will the defenses be like in DD1 or DD2 for the heroes? I don't know what that means specifically.
DD1's defenses.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
For the core 4.
For the core 4, yeah.
Right, yeah.
For
now.
So yeah, for now, infinite progression / no soft caps. I mean, again, that's like a we like to do a lot of cool stuff, but the thing about infinite progression systems specifically is they get very scary, and they work really well with things like seasons. So there's a lot of stuff we want to look into with those kind of things, but there's again no hard set plans on that just yet. At least stuff we're ready to talk about. Sorry, there's so many different things going on here, and the chat just keeps scrolling. Will the PC version look way better than Switch? I mean,
probably.
You'll have a lot more options.
Yeah, it depends on what your setup is, and
but I mean,
there's going to be more graphical options on PC. Yeah. Obviously, we're going to do a lot of optimization to make sure it runs well on Switch at the highest frame rate we can get, and then also we're trying to do 4-player split screen, so there's going to have to be kind of some compromises that'll have to be made for 4-player, but we want it to be a smooth, fun play experience for everybody that's playing currently. And obviously, we'll make it look as good as we can, but, like, if you have, like, an RTX 2080 computer, it's going to look better than a Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
Like,
this one, some of these questions are whatever, but this one is a very good one that I am very passionate about. So 10 out of 10.
So now it's important.
Jiffy Killer 1234. No, this is a good one because this is a problem a lot of people have had, especially going back and playing DD1 after playing DD2. Is can you check your tower range in DDA?
That is something that we really want to improve and make better. We all went back and played DD1 recently, and it was like everybody's annoyance is, it's just hard to see where the tower's pointing. Like, you zoom that camera out, you still can't see it. We're going to make that better. We're going to make it much better.
There's also another specific thing that will be made better. Like when you go back to the Forge.
Oh.
When you go back to it?
When you're trying to switch heroes
the
to
mana,
build.
The mana.
And you have to drop your mana.
No, you don't just drop your mana. You run far enough away from the Forge and then drop your mana so that while you're standing at the Forge, it doesn't get sucked back into you. And then you swap heroes, and then you run back for the mana. And you hope the hero you swap to has got enough to hold as well.
Yes.
So there's a lot of like small things like that we're looking to improve at DDA.
Yeah, this game is going to play better than any other Dungeon Defenders game.
So I'm going to knock like 3 of these out all at once. Will your gear appear on your hero? Your weapon will, and like maybe some of the stuff later on, but we're not like each piece of gear you get's not gonna. It's not like an MMO where it's gonna change each piece as you equip it.
There'll be some things.
Yeah, but it's not
That's
gonna
all
be. I got gloves, it changes them. I got chest piece, it changes them. We don't have the size.
Yeah, it's not as like modular as that. And obviously we're a very small team. We'd need we're trying to hire a bigger art team right now. So I mean, who knows? We blow stretch goals out of the water or get future funding or whatever. Maybe we add cool extra armor, stuff like that. But it's probably going to be similar to how previous Dungeon Defenders have done it. But we do want to give you ways to express yourself and customize. So we're going to figure out what we can do there. And obviously, we're looking at DD1's accessories. We're looking at how DD2 did cosmetics, how you're able to... One thing our art director really liked about DD2 was how you could swap out the look of your base model with the accessory system in DD2, so you could at least have some different looks and be, making your main character look a little more personalized. So we're finding ways where you can get some customization of your heroes that's a little more so than just like slapping on DD1 accessories or something like that.
Yeah.
But we're still obviously figuring out kind of the abilities that we have in the new engine and making all that work and making it, nice.
Yeah. So to answer, we do want to do cosmetics, is what some of that is. There are no microtransactions.
Nope.
There are no gems.
Nope.
We check out our
mana gems.
Okay.
Not premium currency gems.
But it's a retail product.
Yeah.
So again, one excellent source for a ton of questions as well, especially after this stream is over, because sadly we're not going to be streaming throughout the weekend, is checking out our FAQ on Kickstarter. Has a ton of answers on a lot of this stuff that could really help you guys out. But there's been a ton of really good questions here. But there was one, someone also asked if pizza wings are going to be in the game. That is my fight. I fought that fight, and I won in DD2.
We'll see in DDA.
I'll fight for pizza wings. Yeah,
Sure.
I saw.
Sure.
There's a VOD. I know how to go back.
Nope.
I know how to use internet.
We'll have like goofy cosmetics and things in DDA.
Yeah, that's
like,
the spirit of the game. Like,
we're not gonna like bring things over 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like cosmetics and stuff like that for characters, but we'll have some cool stuff. We'll have some wacky stuff.
So
it'll be fun.
It'll be stuff that you can play through and unlock, and
we like having ridiculous things like from DD1. DD2 focused a while on like maintaining art integrity, and then we got wacky and wild with flares and stuff like that. So we want to give people the ability to be as wacky or as wild as they want to be. I just like the words wacky and wild apparently. But
isn't it the Family Guy Wacky Wild Inflatable?
Personal player expression is what we want to
there we go.
encourage.
So we answered this question earlier, but man, you're spamming the heck out of it. Are we planning to use the same maps? If we use any map from a Dungeon Defenders game in DDA, it is going to get a ton of attention. We've already, if you've seen Deeper Well and you can't see the exact side-by-side, open it up in DD1 and then look at our Kickstarter video.
Well, it's similar to how we did DD2, right? Where we had like the layout of these maps, but then we like redid them entirely. Like enemy spawns are different. You know, the lane like structure at its core is similar, but ultimately like all these lanes are going to be different. They'll probably have different enemy setups. All of the core enemy systems are different. So the game's just going to play very differently, even though some of like the base structure of the map will be similar. That's the best way to like put it, I guess, without like giving too much away. That's all I got.
Yeah. Oh, that's all?
That's all.
That was like nothing. That was like one
whatever.
thing. Man, this one's come up a handful of times. Will events be a thing in DDA?
So events actually might be a thing in DDA. That's part of the back end like online stuff we're talking about. So there are ways to do fun extra things while still having this, you know, peer-to-peer multiplayer connection that we'll be able to do, and it actually will be much easier for us to do in DDA than even it was for us to do in DD2. DD2, all of our like even our limited time events were all like hard coded, like manually made things that even then would break when we would set them live. Somehow a timer would break or something, and then it like wouldn't work when we want it to work. So DDA's new like clean, let's just call it clean slate coding trademark.
Oh, there we go.
Clean slate coding allows us to have much more reliable and deeper online multiplayer systems.
Is that your newscaster?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
But that's what it comes down to. It's like we have new abilities with this new game and new tools. And that's one of the things that we kind of transitioned to as part of the new company. It's like, let's get our stuff up to date. Let's work with current gen tools and current technologies. And what does that mean for Dungeon Defenders? So what that means for Dungeon Defenders, we get a lot of extra good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so to lightning around some of these questions that we've already covered. So FOV slider on PC, again, we have a lot of options with UE4. So like potentially,
I want to do FOV slider.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like again, we're gonna have a ton of options with like camera stuff entirely.
90 and above only.
Yeah, you can see behind yourself.
Yeah, you
at
can't
all
go
times.
under 90.
You can't. It's 360 this time. You're like a pigeon, basically.
The whole time.
Pigeon view.
We did it.
I already forgot what it was. But, we're not going to talk about what retail-wise how much the game will be, because that's down the road.
I'd like to do it for console, too, just to answer that question. Also.
Yes. FOV slider everywhere, if possible, as long as it doesn't like affect performance, because we want the game to be awesome to play, fantastic frame rate, and you might set the FOV slider so far that you forget how to turn it off.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, so that's our focus is making sure it's a really awesome experience every time. Will there be ability mana? That's again something that we're currently looking into, but no kind of confirmation on that. We're trying to make it so that it feels good to build, good to not like use your abilities to sacrifice for building. A lot of different really cool things in regards to that. Capped FPS, again, that's like that's a performance thing that we are way too early to really cover on any of that stuff. So if you're going to ask like very technical specific
there's
questions,
a lot of like optimization stuff we still have to do.
We have no answers on that specifically. The other one was, will there be an offline mode?
I mean, on PC it definitely won't be a capped FPS.
Right, it'll go up to 1 million.
1 million.
Confirmed on, not confirmed on.
G-Sync only.
G-Sync only.
1 million.
With ray tracing. No. We answered this, and it's also in a bunch of places, but will be so nice. There will be offline mode, local co-op that has up to 4 players split screen. So you can play offline. You can play with your Switch on the go. To rehash a joke earlier, don't drive and defend.
Don't do it.
No, I wouldn't be a fan of it. How much damage will a fireball tower do? Guess what? That's not getting. Luke typed that, and Luke is trolling. But for anybody else, no, we're not. We have no answers to that question.
3 damage.
Oh, that's the right answer.
3.
That's currently what's in the editor. You just can't see it right now. But will there be crossplay? That's what we want. But we're currently
maybe eventually we're looking into it.
How will local co-op be handled? Will it be the same as DD1 where everyone used emulators to get more loot? What?
Huh.
No. That's not our
Hopefully
plan.
not.
Yeah, like we're staying away from that. There's man, now they're just coming through really, really far. If you lose everything with disconnection, that's technical stuff. We can't really go over that. When will Lost Temple? Are we doing Lost Temple in DD1?
We are now.
We are now.
It's coming back.
It's going to be called Found Temple.
We found it this time.
There it is.
Instead of green, it'll be red.
Stuff like instance loot is a good thing. I've seen that posted on the forums. We're still back and forth. Like we're discussing these things in the core.
Active conversation about
but we understand the pros and cons for both. And like as much as, for example, I love playing DD2, even Diablo 2 way back in the day. You know, seeing something drop and playing with 8 other people.
And then griefing your friends.
And then someone just uses a character to teleport in and grab it real quick. That didn't feel great. So we kind of, like with a lot of games, instance loot has been like very, very good for maintaining relationships. But we are looking into having trading in the game. So it's not just you've got that loot, it's only yours forever. There are options to handle it as well. So we don't want everyone scattering for gear. But again, we're going to go through and make sure that feels good. If it doesn't, then we can look at other options. But for right now, that's kind of where we're at. How many abilities will heroes in DDA have? The base 4 are going to be just like in
It'll
DD1.
be the 2.
Just like DD1.
Two main abilities.
Yeah. So those are still going. Again, when it comes to game modes and stuff, like that is all dependent on how much funding stuff we get done with the Kickstarter, how many people we're able to bring on to expand through. So we've got a lot of plans. We've got a baseline kind of thing we're looking at.
We want to bring back the cool like opt-in modes like pure strategy and mixed mode, like things like that. So there's definitely, and then we had challenge maps in DD1. We had like incursions and things in DD2. There's definitely some cool like extra versions of the maps that we want to do. Yeah. But we'll be talking more about that later.
So again, not covering DDA costs right now. It's on Kickstarter for depending on what tier you put it in. What's the lowest tier they can get DDA?
$1.
No, they can get DDA.
No. Oh, they can get it.
No.
Not for
$1.
They can support the Kickstarter for $1.
They can. But what's the lowest tier they get it
DDA, I think right now there's still some early birds at like 17.
Yeah.
But the base Kickstarter copy of the game price is $20, and then it'll be more than that when we launch.
So the Kickstarter price is like the cheapest it's going to be. But that's because you guys are putting your faith in us early.
$1.
No.
You're welcome. You can put in $1, won't get you a game copy though.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Some people got it at 15 and 16. Those were our initial early birds. And 17 is probably going to be our last. And then the
20. The 34 also.
There is
so
the
you
30.
Get 2 copies.
You can get 2 copies, which basically comes down to $17 a piece.
Yeah.
So we've got those set up, but even the Kickstarter price, I mean, it's really what it is it's a chance to get it for a cheaper price earlier. So it's a sign of good faith, really, that you guys are backing us and you're supporting us, and so we want to get that to you for a cheaper price now.
And that double early bird tier, you could get a PC and a Switch copy for those 2 copies.
And so if we're able to do...
And then if there's cross saves, that's all I'm saying.
You instantly have access to both.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Ooh, two for each.
All right.
Do you know how to
Good
wink?
enough. Sort of.
Okay, wait, do it real quick.
No, it's all right.
All right. I don't think you can, but it's okay. Let's see here. So DD2 stuff, we're going to be having probably info out next week on a couple things just as a check-in. Is the tavern going to be the same as DD1 or will we redesign it? So we're going to have a tavern. And I don't know if you've seen on the Kickstarter, but there's actually there's a VIP tavern that we've got set up that's going to look pretty awesome. But for right now, I think the plan is to really like kind of go back and get that DD1 feel.
So we're approaching the end of this stream, though.
Oh, we are? Oh, my gosh.
And I think there's a special surprise.
So tavern stuff, maybe. So you guys have been asking about maps, like, all stream. And we answered some of the map question.
I like how our level designer asked maps. Like,
oh, is that what happened?
Oh yeah, he was in the chat going, "Are there maps?"
Okay, so we've got something. We've got it. This is the sneak peek we were talking about on Kickstarter and elsewhere. I don't even remember where we've put it so far. But anyways, so we're gonna have Eric go ahead and pull up our concept.
So it's a concept for a new region of Etheria. And I'm not going to give the name away yet, but this is a new area where mayhaps there will be some new maps in said new region. So yeah, we just wanted to give you guys a taste of one of the concepts. We'll probably be posting it over on the Kickstarter too. So again, I know everyone was like, is there new content in this game?
I don't know, man.
And the answer is yes.
No, we canceled it.
No, it's over now.
It's gone now.
It's all gone. We deleted this just now.
Just for the sake of how, because this image is actually bigger than we can show.
Yeah,
on
it's wider than the stream.
But in the bottom left, you can actually see the squire.
And we actually have some additional art and stuff from this region that we'll be showing off too.
Yeah, so we've got...
You just gotta wait.
Yeah, so we've got stuff planned, guys. And there's even more of this kind of stuff to show off later. We just need to give it more love and attention before it's in a state to really kind of show that stuff
smooch.
off. Yeah, a little, just a little smooch. But yeah, that's how we want to end the stream, kind of showing you guys something new and just insane.
Woo!
So yeah, if you haven't yet, check out our
Oh no!
What?
Senex, how dare you betray me so? Damn.
Will it have a battle royale mode? The whole game's a battle royale
I like how
mode.
she's modded too. Who did that?
I did not.
Isom.
Anyways. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the stream. Please check out our Kickstarter. If you've backed us already, thank you so much for your support. There's been a lot of people who've left a lot of kind words as well.
Yep.
A lot of us see that. That's fantastic. It really does help us kind of power through the long nights. But if you haven't, check out, there might be a tier. If you can support us, that's awesome. If you can't, we completely get it. Like, we're already limited on some Kickstarter support stuff. So
just post on the forums and tell us what you liked about Dungeon Defenders.
Yeah, we've got the
even if you can't support us right now, like, you can still join the conversation and still talk to us.
The forums, they're brand spanking new. And
we never read them or ever beautiful. Respond. We're really
no. Your post counts like one, I think, right?
Developers. Yeah. I've only posted one time.
Yeah.
It was the news post. That's it.
That was it. This is who we are and bye. So yeah, go on there. Tons of conversation going. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. We've got a bunch of updates that we're going to be posting on all those places. And yeah, that is it for this stream. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with your questions. We're going to do this again, just not sure on specifically when. But yeah, that is it for now. So say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.